Hello everyone, yesterday Pablo Carrozza spoke with Genovese, as Duca or Genovart calls him. It's actually called The Truth, which sparked some interesting debates. We're clearly on the opposite side of what this guy says. First, he's completely convinced of something false. Does he think the term Secanucas belongs to libertarians? And I can assure you, Pablo, that the term Secanucas is cross-cutting. Being a Secanucas from Tapia is something that puts a lot of us on the other side, a lot of people from different ideologies. And believing that those who are against Tapia are in favor of the sports corporation is a huge lie. Many people like Pablo Carrozza message us asking if being against Tapia means supporting the sports corporation. Right? And besides, I want to make it clear that Tapia is in favor of the sports corporation. Also, just so you know, okay? The thing is, he's in favor of the sports corporation. Friends from the club, Messi's Lions, which will now be at the Baracas Central headquarters on Arrieta. Many clubs, both in lower and top divisions, are run like sports corporations. They're not opposed to this model. The term Secanucas doesn't belong to any particular ideology. It's used by many people, even those who think like you or like other people. Politically, it's not something exclusive to libertarians. What's happening is that he's trying to create a new divide between this and that. Isn't that right? Guys, he also talks about something very important, which is his relationship with Flavio Azzaro and the As channel. And that's when you realize that the guy thinks he was set up, because the journalist from that channel asked Caruso Lombardi a question about him, saying he was a poodle and so on. Well, that's old news. He's essentially saying that on a channel run by someone he got along with, they shouldn't ask someone else questions about him. And it's like, what is he asking for? What is he asking for? Well, guys, honestly, there are a lot of little things he says that really bother me. For example, when he claims people oppose Tapia due to his humble origins, that's just not true. Why would I care about his background? If he's a millionaire now, it's like saying Tevez is an outcast from Cunaguero. They're already millionaires, so it doesn't make sense to go back. Or is it about who they are today? Today, they're millionaires backing the sports corporation model. Are they suggesting this, or is it Tapia, Veron, or Fassi? No, I don't want Tapia or Veron as president of the Argentine Football Association, and I like Fassi even less. I want something different, I want something fair, I want everything to be clear, and I want a president of the Argentine Football Association who does what he promises. A 20-team tournament, as he said then. There's no serious league in the world with 30 teams, and now the guy tells you there have to be 30 teams because more players get sold. And the other day we showed live that Argentina isn't among the 10 most watched leagues in the world. It's performing worse than the Dutch, Portuguese and Mexican leagues. I don't know their basis, folks. Let's check the report and enjoy.
Well, lately the nicknames or labels like Secanuca and Canichi have been popping up, especially among libertarian audiences. What do you think a Secanuca is?
Secanuca, it's a great term that the libertarians learned and they won't stop using it, that the libertarians learned and they won't stop using it because they know they nailed it. And you see, I'm a Cuca and Sobrado, Caniche and Secanuca. I'm all four things to the libertarians. The other day, a guy ran into me on the street and did this to me, you know, like this, right? A friend asked me, is he calling you Secanuca? You're a Secanuca, you know? I find it funny, but wait.
Hold on, do you consider yourself a Secanuca?
Is being a Secanuca supporting Chiqui Tapia? No.
And I think it is.
If you ask me, do I consider myself a Secanuca? If being one means defending management, I'm much closer to Chiqui Tapia's management than any other. Than Veron's, Fassi's, Foster Gillette's, Macri's, and a lot of other managements. Even so, I don't agree with the trophy being delivered to Rosario Central in a van. I don't agree with the tournament. I think there are too many teams. There are a lot of things I don't agree with. Then, yes, I do defend a lot of things that were also done with the Argentina national team. I think they're targeting him because he comes from humble beginnings and works as a garbage collector, which they can't stand. That a guy from San Juan suddenly takes the World Cup to the Difunta Correa on his knees. Because they want the business, and when I say they, I mean the establishment, the big media. They want everything they don't have today. And if Tapia is fighting that battle, for example, against Clarin, well, I'm going to line up behind Tapia, even if the journalists from Clarin or people who might think the complete opposite come along. Being called a Secanuca doesn't bother me. I'm sure there are Secanucas on the other side too.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is Tapia the only Secanuca?
there probably isn't a Secanuca from Verong. I'm not sure what they're called since I'm not that into that social media subculture, but there must be a Secanuca for every leader. Probably one for Christina and one for Macri too. I don't know, I can't imagine.
There are people who stop being friends.
Yeah, or there are people who maybe I thought were my friends and maybe they never were. I really don't know, but yeah. Recently, I shared a story on Instagram saying I met many loyal people and fortunately left some behind. A lot of traitors, and I get that, and I don't say it. You know, I'm not trying to fight or offend, but I'd still say it even sadly. Because the truth is, there are people you've been with for 20 years, agreeing or disagreeing, and suddenly you find yourself in some situations and you say, but what happened here in the middle? I mean, why all of this? But well, it's part of life, it's part of growing up, and it's part of choosing who you want to walk this path with, which has to do with the media.
But Santi, do you feel like they hurt you?
I don't know if they hurt me or not. Do you want to name names? No.
No. I didn't ask you for names, but Santi, did someone hurt you?
No, I don't know if they...
No, if you want to give names, go ahead.
No, huh? It depends on where you're going with this, but in my case, yes, they did something I didn't expect in a media outlet, which I went to many times in Azzaro. And when I saw everything that was happening, I said, hey, why is this? I mean, why? For working at Carnival, it seemed too much to me that they treated me that way just for going to work at Carnival. When I, at the time, got together with Flavio to do the special of Football al Horno, which we did, that same day I told him I had an offer from Carnival and wanted to work there. And I didn't want to work at AS because I didn't want to be around 4 or 5 people who were in that media outlet. Now, if that's enough for someone to ask an interviewee one day about something I said, I mean, hey, or even Duca himself, all just for working at Carnival. I mean, I didn't expect it. Honestly, I really didn't expect it. And then when I see him saying, I'm going to kill them, I say, but hey, that's not the same guy I met 20 years ago. What happened to him? All because of a Martin Fierro. That's why I have it right here. I don't need Ventura's validation. Honestly, it's all good with the awards, with the Martin Fierro.
Would you have wanted a Martin Fierro?
This year I have a Martin Fierro from 2014.
But this year, with the union expired?
I don't care about the Martin Fierro. I mean, I really don't care, and I said it last year too.
But do you feel like you're someone who's liked by people in the industry?
I feel loyal and liked by those I care about. So then whether I'm liked more or less by those who don't know me, I'm not saying it in a negative way. It's all good. It's part of the game.